Hey, good morning. And my name is Caesar, and today I'm going to talk about my proposal draft. And the topic of my thesis is a study of the luxury brands and its influence upon consumer perception in terms of semiotics. And I divided my content into 3 parts, from introduction to methodology. And I subdivided my introduction into 3 parts, and which are background of study, statements of problem, and purpose of the study. And background of the study is contemporary consumer behavior should be closely associated with postmodernism as a social-cultural phenomenon. They are engaging in consumption not to fulfill basic needs, but much more in a pursuit of identities of self, social groups, and culture or subculture. And people pay more for brand name products than they do for essentially identical products lacking brand identity. It means that if today we are buying a bag, and there are thousands of brands that are out there, but we usually certainly buy some bags that tailored with a brand. And so this simply means they are 2 identical products providing the same function, but we usually buy something that is tailored with brand name. And brand name markups are particularly pronounced in the fashion industry, where functionality is less important than the brand's signal of style and exclusivity. And a brand can transpire not only between a firm and its customer, but also between customers. It is very important that how brand works among customers, because if a brand can transpire in between customers, it is suggesting that customers are talking about a brand which can simultaneously provide influence upon customers. It means that a company does not necessarily to promote their brands. It is customers that are promoting the brand themselves. And different consumers construct multiple meaning depending on their personal background, social variables, context of consumption, and frames of reference. And virtually any product can take on virtually any meaning. Moreover, by varying the context within which an object is displayed, consumers' perceptions of the object's use, affiliations, and identity is changeable. So here comes the statements of problem. Meaning is a site of constant ideological struggle at which several interpretations are possible by different audiences. And behind the commercial competition lies a competition of social classes. It means there are a lot of luxury brands out there, but how do we define which is higher or is dominant, and while others are not? It's not only they are competing with each other under the social classes. It's also consumers, they are competing with each other under the structure of social classes. So the purpose of study is to propose that luxury brands as a status symbol are of dominant significance to consumer perception. And because of a quote in 2006, they suggest that for high fashion, price is to some extent be determined by the brand's position in the status hierarchy. So in this regard, the study excludes the price factor in the study, which means that the study is not talking about, well, it's not including the price in it. So review of literature, I divided my review of literature into three parts, from luxury brands to semiotics. And luxury brands, the term luxury is currently and commonly used by marketers in most product or service categories to communicate to consumers a particular type of offer. A brand is a tangible or intangible concept that uniquely identifies an offering, providing symbolic communication of functionality and differentiation, and in doing so, sustainable influences the value offered. And consumer perception. Consumers can derive subjective, intangible benefits from these goods beyond their functional utility, while additional motivations to purchase them include their higher levels of quality and authenticity. And a fashion goods brand image denotes to what extent a consumer is willing to pay more money to obtain the particular brand, while at the same time, another product of similar quality could be purchased at a cheaper price. Again, it is proving that consumers will buy something. Well, they are willing to pay more money and to buy something that has a luxury brand, while they don't want to pay something that is at cheaper price and they don't have a luxury brand. And the consumer decision to buy a conspicuous product depends not only on the product's functionality, but also on social needs such as prestige. The word conspicuous means that something that is very easy to notice, that is noticeable. And for example, in Taiwan, we can always see the Louis Vuitton or Prada, Burberry, something like that. And it is so-called conspicuous products that we can see it, we can understand, we can notice it at a glance. That means we can notice that at once. And customers discuss luxury goods in rich Hellenic language, describing them as opulent, pleasing to the touch and eye, and designed to indulge and delight. Is coherent to the previous statement that luxury brands can transpire not only between firms and consumers, but also between customers. And successful brands are those where consumers' perceptions of a brand are identical to a firm's, and both are identical to the customer's original specification. And here comes semiotics. So the study of systems of signs is called semiotics. And signs are identified as anything that can be used to represent something else. A sign not only stands for something, but it also stands for something to somebody in a certain respect. And semiotics can contribute to more fully understanding human communication and behavior. And final part is my methodology. In methodology, the study tries to use the instrument, is questionnaire. And I try to divide the questionnaire into several parts, but I haven't decided yet. Yeah. So, but basically there are two main parts, which the first one is their perception and the latter one is their demographic data. And analysis, I will try to employ these four analyses, which are descriptive analysis, KMO analysis, factor analysis, and Quantba alpha analysis. And thank you for your attention.